sometimes get uptight when reading all those faith-based books all claim to get it right. In volumes of religious texts which have their own agenda, there lies a silver thread of truth mixed in with propaganda. Be careful what you say to those with whom you'll be at odds, who've taken on the dogma in the pantheon of gods.
Doesn't matter if you're Christian or if Islam or Hindu, your horizons need to open to a universal view. The dynamics of change in an endless cosmic sea all need to be a part of your mind's reality. There's been more than one intrusion when you finally check the odds of rules and competition in the pantheon of gods.
Aztec gods, Celtic gods, gods of ancient Sumer. All of them existed and it's not just myth or rumor. Greek gods, Hindu gods, all gods in relief. Weave a magic tapestry of spiritual belief. All of them have been here, part of spiritual decorum. And all of them are aspects of a complex cosmic form.
Doesn't matter if you're Christian or if Islam or Hindu, your horizons need to open to a universal view. The dynamics of change in an endless cosmic sea.
You are all
Everybody's voting for the friendly voice of radio, the people's choice. Music, weather, sports, and news, it's radio. The people choose. Everybody's swinging to the swinging voice of radio, the people's choice. Big fry, small fry, dawn to dawn, it's radio that turns them on.
You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Boy, interesting night tonight. We had, well, wacky news for the first hour with James Kirschbaum and me. And then we learned a lot about Stonehenge in America with Dennis Stone. Well, what can I say? And the music you're hearing for our bumper music right now is from a good friend of mine, Tom. It's Metatron Power and Light. And I tell you what, at 70 years old, he is cranking out music like you wouldn't believe. James, you still there and not snoring, are you?
No, I'm still here. I dare I ask, do you have any more news from Florida? Just a cringe to hear.
Yeah, Florida is underwater by about 12 feet.
Oh, my goodness. But,
no, that's not true. I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. No.
But there is a reason why there's no basements in, well, at least southern Florida anyway.
I wouldn't want to live in Florida anyway. I don't like alligators.
Oh, alligators is the least you're worried. I've lived in Florida before, actually, and I got to tell you, that daggone sand fleas will tear you up.
How about
they
those?
just will. You just go down the pier at night, and you'd be walking, and you hear crunch, crunch. You shine a light down, and there's a million cockroaches running all over the place.
Now, that and the snakes, those big ones. Oh, I tell you what, I like where I live in Washington State on the coast side, not on eastern Washington, because they got those, snakes that bite you and can kill you. And then they got all those poisonous spiders. I like right where I'm at. But anyway, later on this week, too, we're going to be talking again with a very good friend of mine. It's been on the show numerous times. Bruce Maccabee will be on, and we're going to find out more information because he's very outspoken about what's going on, about disclosure with UFOs and stuff like that.
Yeah, Bruce is great, man. I got to tell you, he's wrote many of research papers especially from the Australian incident with the private plane and the guy that was going back and forth from a couple of little islands there, and some fascinating reports and analysis that he's come up with, not just on that case, but many cases. And I think he's retired Navy intelligence or something also.
Interesting. And then on the 27th, we got Sam on, and we're going to be talking about Bigfoot, little people, portals and things like that, and aliens and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I've noticed through a lot of reports, and even Sam has also admitted that a lot of times with his Bigfoot sightings, he has spotted at the same time those little people. And I've seen some of the pictures. One of them, the little guy's got a beard and I think a pipe and maybe a hat. It's some fascinating stuff. And
I seen one like with a helmet and all that stuff. But it's really interesting. But then it gets really more exciting. Then in October we got some ghost hunters on. We have my friend Nick Center will be back on. And we're going to be talking about, shows like The Walking Dead, zombies, monster shows and stuff like that. Yeah, I just happened to see there's one of them zombie shows coming on. It's, it's from the 70s, some kind of outbreak, a lot of people don't realize there's two kind of zombies. You got the Haitian kind, voodoo kind of zombies, then you got the kind that got the virus. Yeah. Two different kinds. The Fear of the Walking Dead, I watched it when it first came on and I didn't like it. And then, I'll be honest with you, I watched 2 episodes last night, and it reminded me like of The Walking Dead. It was a lot more zombies getting killed, more zombies around, something you haven't been seeing in The Walking Dead. Of course, now The Walking Dead, they said that they're going to be stepping up the game quite a bit. They need to. I mean, how many years has that been on? People are getting tired of zombies. Yeah, I heard it was the last season. I could be wrong, but I got to tell you, the zombies I like the Night Stalker, the old Kolchak. Like the second show, I think of that season had a zombie in it. So it was a voodoo kind of zombie. Oh, I like that. Yeah, he had to put salt in its mouth and sew it up before it crushed him. It was crazy. Yeah, and the chief of police, thought he was crazy, Kojak. Oh, you're crazy, Kojak. Get out of here. We're going to lock you up for the next 20 years. But you know what? When he originally took that show, he grew up and went to high school about 12, 13, about 15 miles from where I'm at in Puyallup, Washington. He went to Puyallup High School and played football. But anyway, when he took that show, the network promised him, he would have somewhat say of the show. And then when he started the show, that they kind of like took that away from him, and they made it, what he said, a little bit, more silly than what it was supposed to be. From the original movie, the Night Stalker movie was so much more better than the series. But I tell you what, like the vampires and the zombies and stuff like that, it was kind of cool to watch something like that. And then later in the week, I got Tim Swartz on. We're going to be talking about Castell, about all the release of information and technology that the Army Air Force gave out to people to create what these UFO technology was. And then on the 8th, we got Calvin Parker on again. That's him and his friend. Well, he says it wasn't really a friend. Went on that one dock. It said no trespassing, and Calvin didn't really want to do it, but the guy goes, "Oh, come on, I never got caught." And they were sitting on the dock, and then all of a sudden the flashing lights and the water coming, and then these, robot type things grabbing them and, like giving them like a shock, stun, and taking them aboard the UFO. So we're going to be talking about that too. And and Calvin's great. He's a great guest. Oh, he's a fantastic guest. And then I got Judith Fern will be on the 9th, and she's really into cryptics and monsters on that. So, I mean, we're doing pretty good. And then, I got the 14th and 15th booked up. On the 15th, we're going to be talking again about UFOs. On the 14th, we're going to be talking about monsters, like dinosaurs and Mothman and stuff like that, and their bones and stuff like that. So, I mean, the whole month is looking really, really good with, guests. Now, the bad thing is for tomorrow. You remember Tony Alando and Dawn?
Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree.
Yeah, it's a tree of years if you still want me. Anyway, last minute, I've been trying to get a hold of them all week because they were scheduled, to be on tomorrow. And their agent finally responded to me, and they said, well, they're on the road and they're really busy, so don't count on it. But, if you want, I can make sure it might happen. And I said, well, if it might happen, let's not do it at all. Because, the last thing I want to do is start a show and then have absolutely no guests going. I don't have enough material to do wacky news for 3 hours. I tell you, it was hard for 1 hour.
What? Yeah, you just get a double dose of Florida Daily News. My God, Jesus!
So I'm going to put a great replay on tomorrow, and it'll be, I think, Joshua P. Warren will be on.
Oh yeah, that was a great. I'll tell you what, that was a great show. He was very informative, and had all kind of great insight and details on all aspects of paranormal, from some ghost lights to UFOs and 51 and all kind of stuff. And
underground bases and aliens, and if they actually eat people or not, and trying to get a hold of Mary Joyce to get her on towards the end of October. It's just this is the time of year when everybody, is going out and doing seminars, on UFOs and cryptids and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a couple of big ones around the country. There's a lot of big names going to and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's going to be a lot of good talk, and even Mary Joyce, we haven't talked to her for a couple of months, so a lot could happen down there in the underground bases where she's at, and with cryptids and UFOs and the little people also down there, and some aliens supposedly to serve man and not feed us, but feed them, so to speak.
I have no idea. And also, Tom from Metatron Power and Light is going to be on the 30th. Now, he's the lead singer of the band, my bumper music, but he's really into the paranormal. If you notice, it's conspiracy and paranormal, their songs. So we're going to be talking about that. And he also, he's a retired police officer, Seattle police officer. He also wants to talk about this new scam that's going on where you get a phone call about Amazon. And I don't want to go into too much, but it's a new scam which you don't want to fall for. So he'll be talking about that too.
My goodness, the stuff out there that prey on innocent people, especially older people that may not know better or heard this kind of stuff. So yeah, that'd be interesting to get some insight on that.
Karen Banks, you're absolutely right. That people do want to hear ghost stuff around Halloween, And
I gotta
save it for Halloween.
I won't. I don't have it yet. Believe me, I'm going to go on a case that is probably the scariest case that many people. I mean, we're talking objects thrown, so we're going to find out when I get there, and it's going to be right before Halloween too.
Yeah, your girlfriend says that you wear Depends when you go out on these ghost hunts.
Absolutely, I'm no dummy. I'm not. I can't. Of course I do. You think I can afford a new pair of jeans all the time?
I don't know. And Karen Banks, it's funny. Why do I get about 50 emails at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com when I'm doing the show, but you guys are not going on to Spreaker, the app, and you could be asking me questions like Karen does, and James gets on it, I'm on it, and occasionally somebody else does, but you guys are sending me messages through the email. Now, it could be a lot of you guys are listening I keep forgetting the radio stations, 21 of them. And it might even be 22 because Tom said he was listening to our show on a radio station up in the Seattle area. So I got to find out if that was the internet or actually a radio station, because a lot of times the radio stations will pick us up and we don't even know they're, picked up they've been playing us for a while.
I do got to say this. On the Spreaker app, some reason it won't let me go on my phone. I've tried everything it says, put in my password, won't let me, but I can go on my laptop